There are four main causes of World War I, and they conveniently spell the acronym MAIN. These four causes are militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Militarism deals with the policy of military preparedness and building up weapons. It is the idea that countries are going to compete to have bigger and stronger armies. In 1900, Germany began to build a navy that could rival Great Britain's strong Royal Navy. Germany also enlarged its army, had the latest weapons, and created new war plans. Great Britain, France, and Russia began to worry about Germany's intentions and built up their own militaries. For protection, some countries formed alliances or partnerships. These were created to maintain peace, but also led Europe directly to war. The two major alliances before the war were the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. The Triple Alliance was between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. The Triple Entente was formed in response to Germany's growing power. The Triple Entente was between Britain, France, and Russia. Some European leaders believed that these alliances created a balance of power, where each nation or alliance had equal strength. Some leaders felt that no single nation would attack another out of fear that the attacked nation's allies would join the fight. The opposite was the case, and these alliances set Europe up for war. The practice of imperialism is when a nation extends its power by gaining territory or colonies. This practice stresses the idea that the more powerful nation would have more colonies. Colonies provided a country with markets to sell goods and land to get natural resources from. By the late 1800s, Great Britain and France already had colonial empires in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Germany wanted colonies as well, which is another reason why they needed a stronger military. The term nationalism means extreme pride or devotion that someone feels for their country. Nationalism led to the creation of new nations like Germany and Italy, and also led to a competition for power. There were many groups of people without their own homeland at this time, including Poles from Poland, Irish, and Slavs from southeastern Europe. This competition for power was most visible in the Balkans, an area of southeastern Europe with many different ethnic groups. The Ottoman Empire ruled this area for hundreds of years, but it was starting to fall apart during the 1800s. Austria-Hungary saw the opportunity to take over in this area, and many Slavic people rejected Austro-Hungarian rule. Some Serbs encouraged other Slavic people to revolt against the Austro-Hungarians, and they were supported by Russia. This tension was not only a long-term cause, but also led to the immediate and short-term cause of World War I. The major European powers' long history of national tension, imperial rivalries, and military expansion proved too great for alliances to overcome. After a single attack on Austria-Hungary, Europe exploded into war. This single act was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife by Gavrilo Princip on June 28, 1914. Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne because he was the nephew of the emperor. His assassin, Gavrilo Princip, was an 18-year-old member of the Black Hand, a Serbian terrorist group. After the assassination, Austria-Hungary gave Serbia an ultimatum, or put a series of demands on them. The demands were meant to be humiliating to draw Serbia into war, not to mention that Austria-Hungary could gain control of Serbia if they beat them. 1 month after the assassination, Austria-Hungary officially declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914, for not agreeing to the demands. All-out war is about to begin, but first we must discuss who gets involved. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia after they failed to meet the demands placed on them. Russia promised to support Serbia, so they declared war on Austria-Hungary and Germany, who had an alliance. Germany then declared war on Russia, France, and Belgium. Then Great Britain declared war on Germany because they had a secret alliance with Belgium. Italy ended up switching sides and joined on the side of the Allies instead of the Central Powers, which we will discuss in the next section. As the Great War broke out in Europe, there were two major alliances that formed, known as the Central Powers and the Allied Powers. The Central Powers were mainly Germany and Austria-Hungary, and the Allied Powers were mainly France, England, and Russia. Germany made the first move in the war following their Schlieffen Plan. The goal of this plan was to fight a war on two fronts and hopefully to take out France quickly and then put all of their troops towards Russia. This plan failed because the neutral Belgians, whom the Germans had to invade to get to France, fought back. The Germans assumed that the Belgians would let them pass through. In response to the Belgians fighting, the Germans were brutal to them by burning entire villages and killing men, women, and children. In addition, Great Britain was drawn into the war because they had a secret alliance with Belgium. Fighting began in August of 1914, and the first battle was on the Western Front and was called the Battle of the Frontiers. This battle was between the French and Germans, and the Germans destroyed the French forces. This was mainly because the French army was outdated and was no match for the Germans' advanced weaponry. Another early battle was the Battle of Tannenberg on the Eastern Front, which was when Russia invaded Prussia. This battle was important because even though the Germans won, they were scared and they threw away the Schlieffen Plan. Another early battle was the First Battle of the Marne, when the Germans quickly advanced through northern France. The French refused to surrender and were able to push the Germans back about 40 miles. Ultimately, this battle ended in a standoff, mainly because of trenches or deep ditches that were dug to protect the soldiers.